Well, hello from Glendale. This is Home Inspector Dan with Property Inspections Plus. We're taking a look at a house from 1978 today. So not a new house, not a super old house, but it's right on that cusp of, hey, we got some possibly lead, possibly asbestos. 1978 is kind of the cutoff year for some of that material. So we're going to go looking around the house today. I wanted to kind of go through some things, but look at this tree house. Probably not going to inspect that today, but I would love to have that in my yard if I were a kid. Alright, so here's the listing in Glendale. We're looking at a 3-bed, 2-bath house, 1,100 square feet, single family residence, built in 1978. The whole lot is 6,200 square feet. What is special about this place? Don't miss this great opportunity. This home has been very well taken care of, tile throughout the home, new AC, very open and big remodeled kitchen, plenty of room for family get-togethers, mature trees in the backyard, new paint inside and out. This home won't be on the market long. Well, we might as well get this thing kicked off in the front yard here. We're looking south of the home. So that's south, this is north, west, east. So this side's gonna get the brunt of the sun, especially on days like today. It's about 115 out here. It's supposedly the hottest day of the year. It's gonna be there already. We're seeing some addition. This looks like a different slab than the original slab. Even if it is the original slab, there's some pretty major foundation work that is going to need to happen there. Beware of dog, there's nobody in the house today. But the gate is. Now I'm doing a full home inspection and a sewer camera inspection here, so we're going to take a look at everything I can. Garage door looks updated, or at least painted. Some more structural stuff going on right here. The front of the house. Stem wall gets too much moisture in it and it starts cracking out pretty good. Main water shut off. I hope that's not the main water. The meter's right there. Oh look, we got another nice horizontal crack going back in there. Now the problem with this is water. It's gonna travel here. But we do have a cleanout, which is good. It means they probably updated at least the exterior piping of the house. Irrigation manifold. Doesn't look like much is getting irrigated today. It's pretty dry. Let's fire this thing up, see if anything even happens, huh? Oh, there's no power to it at all. So here we got the electrical panel, but we'll walk around the outside. I'll inspect the outside and then I'll take you back through some of the stuff. But I just wanted to kind of point out a few things. You walk into these houses, just like this is all painted over. Doorbell's painted over. Doesn't even work. Nice tile throughout the house. Now there's just kind of like, I had to pop this open because I heard it whistling and it wasn't getting very cool in here, and there's no filter. I look over the thermostat, look, it's 94 degrees in here, 76 degrees it's set at. It's been running for a very long time. And already I'm looking, this light doesn't work at all. And we've got the pendant lights out here that somebody put some LED bulbs in them. Like, I've only been here a couple minutes and I'm already finding some weird stuff. So you can't adjust the brightness with LED bulbs. So if you want to adjust them, you're going to need to replace those out. Also, here we used to have an evap cooler. Those are evap cooler ducts. You can terminate them. This is a super hot room. This is your southwest corner. There is no air conditioning in here. If this is where you're going to be storing your food is going to get like 90 degrees. So any chocolate in here is going to melt. You know, it's just not a good idea to not, I'm not sure if this is insulated or not. We'll shoot it with a thermal camera and see if we can see any anomalies, but this is going to be a super hot room. It would be a good idea to put a duct in here and try and cool that off. But I'm going to get inspecting now, and we'll circle back to this once I get through this super hollow door into the garage, which this needs to be a fire door, and figure out a way to pull down this attic hatch. It's just like this little piece of rope sticking out. Maybe I'll find a ladder and give it a yank, but even the garage is like 120 degrees today. Little water heater room. All right, let's inspect. Look at this madness. So this dead front is missing. It's completely gone. Dead front is the metal plate that goes over all the wires protecting us from killing ourselves. And just like all the mess that's inside this panel. Look at that wire right there. It doesn't look good, does it? At least we don't see any single strand aluminum, but there is a little bit of scorching back there. Got a breaker just chilling out here. So which one did they replace? Which one's original? These look original, but yeah, this is a bad panel. We see stuff like this. This is just a bare wire just hanging out in here. We need to get an electrician in here to verify that everything is safe, up to code. We need some corrections there. We need a new dead front cover. Good possibility we just need to replace this whole panel altogether at this point. Has to be right in that right good position for it to stop. Yeah, 2010. So I'll show you guys how I'm figuring this out. It's not the first four numbers, but after that F, you got 28 and then 10. I believe it's 2010. Ream. 3-ton unit up here on the roof. Condensate line is discharging right here, which we're not even getting any condensation out of today. This asphalt shingle roof, it's got a little bit of wear to it. You can see the fiberglass poking through on the bottom. You can see all the gaps that we have around our vents. All the mastic and stuff is starting to dry up, crack, shrink, leaving areas for penetration, water penetration, that is. Here's our cool treehouse back here. This flat roof looks like it's been done not that long ago. This tree used to drag or rub on there. You can see they cut it down fairly recently, probably. So I noticed on the front here too, they must have ran out of some shingles. You can see these are the proper ridge caps, the ridge shingles, and then here they just cut other shingles to fit, to fill in this little gap here. It's not the end of the world. But you know, you can't hold them down with all these nails. It's probably the only way to get this to seal down really good, but all these nails are a water penetration area. So that would be an issue. Ice cream guy. I don't think anybody's brave enough to go outside today. It's about 116 right now. That's Arizona sun for you. And the shingles here at the edge are wearing out pretty good too. You can see these are not new shingles, right? Nice and dry under there. Still have a little bit of flexibility to them. You know, if they were super old, they would probably just crack on me, so. Well, we have two attic hatches today. One's in the garage and the other one's here, but you can see my issue with this one, right? They painted this sucker on. They didn't want me to get up there. So I'm not going up there. I'm not gonna break this. This happens far too often on flipped homes where they're just like, screw it, seal that shut. I don't want anybody going in the attic. That means there's probably some problems up there. Well, I got the ladder down here in the garage. This thing is ridiculous. Whatever they had on the end of that broke. On the inside they have like an old bolt. The attic stairs here are broken. Not really bad, but broken nonetheless. See that? Who wants to go up on this ladder? Anybody? Probably not the safest thing, huh? Oh, shit. So I'm gonna use my little step stool here and see if I can't get up far enough past some of the damage. Because the other hatch is closed, I want to at least get somewhat of a look up here. I feel like they're trying to hide stuff from us. Now watch, this whole thing's probably gonna fall on me, and I'm gonna regret all the decisions I made today. All right, so we got plywood, truss. God, I'm terrified this is gonna snap. All right, let's get up here. Didn't break, don't break. I'm gonna give myself about 5 minutes up here because it is toasty. It's about 120 degrees outside. So we have rigid ductwork wrapped in insulation. Very, very bad insulation levels. That is really low. Ouch, got nails in my back. Let's see if we can get over here. Well, no wonder, dumbass. So how stupid is that? I told you guys that those are for evap coolers that have been removed. That's not going to do you any good trying to keep your house cool. The AC was actually pumping over 20-degree splits today. But if you're going to let all the cold air up in the attic like that, you're going to lose it all. So this is above the water heater right there. PVC and copper. So a little bit of both. Water softener. See the dryer duct is discharging into the attic a little bit. There's some dryer lint there. Dryer lint there. Duct tape. Those are our gaps around the soffit. Don't want bees and whatnot to get in here, but our insulation levels are shit. No wonder the house is hot today. Like I said, we're at 95 degrees on the inside of the attic. I mean on the inside of the home. I can see right down, look at that. I can see right down into your house from your attic. Electrical stuff. HVAC system. Gaps, I don't see any water damage. A little bit of black stuff up there, possibly some mold. Insulation levels are just terrible. We need new insulation. Look at that little water stain up there. So our attic fan that has been disconnected, not in service anymore. It would be helpful to get some of this hot air out of there. A lot of water staining in this area over by the HVAC system from previous leaks or the evap cooler that used to be mounted here. Is that a crack? Looks like a knot. Not a crack, just a knot. Yeah, you can see how the wood gets discolored over here where it gets wetter, more of the water staining. Electrical wires all over the place. Yeah, I don't know, I feel too secure with that. It's not your, yeah, it is your deadbolt. God, it's like holding on to nothing. It's not the most concerning thing here at the house, but light kits, missing the glass going around there. We have that other vent going up into the attic, losing all of our cool air in the house. It's still not warm in here or cool in here. But going back here, got an electrical outlet that was not installed very well. They didn't move it over after they installed the new cabinet, so the remodel was probably not permitted. Good indication of that. No power at the oven today. No power at all. Cabinets, not too bad, but we do have a little bit of damage there, a little bit of damage there. Let's turn that vent off. The vent does come back into the house. It doesn't go outside. Cooktop is working good today, but you can see that there's like no backsplash. You can see they tried to put a little bit of caulking down there at some point in time, but it is completely wide open. all the way back there. And then we've got more gaps over here by this sink. My biggest concern is your cabinets are kind of shot. So you can see down here all the mold. Not supposed to say mold, but you know, it's black, it's growing. It's growing because it's been wet. So it's a little bit unusual, right? Like where would the water be coming from? There's water damage down there on the ground on this cabinet. There's water damage over there on the back. Water damage all the way on the back of this cabinet. This one's completely shot. You can see the gap from the cabinet moving in this area there. Just completely gone. And this is really stinky. So you can imagine the mold or bioorganic growth that's growing in here, and this thing's warped as heck too. So we start wondering, where is this water coming from? It's actually pretty nice cabinets. I like the drawer. Where's the water coming from? It's not coming from here. It's not coming from the sink. Likely. There was some leaks down here before, so it's possible that it did travel that way. You definitely have some blackish stuff down here. Looks gross, right? So I get to do my inspection inside a house with all of this and an air conditioning system that doesn't even have a filter, and it's not working very good. So it's just like, yeah, I do these houses sometimes and it makes me cough, makes me feel kind of crappy when I get home. 92 degrees. I'm gonna feel even worse today because it's so hot in this house. Bedroom's pretty straightforward. Not much going on in the bedrooms. Got some outlets. A couple of them are loose. The outlets have been painted. You can see this door stop has been broken. No light over there. These windows are working fine. They're single pane windows. They're kind of crappy for energy efficiency. But I'm looking at the floor. It's gonna have a little bit of waviness to it. It's an older floor. Somebody built some custom cabinets up in there. We've got lights out, lights out. Two more lights out. Up in there, another single pane window. They're functional. They're just not like super great windows. At some point you're gonna wanna update that. So here is our attic entrance that's been painted shut. No access in there. Hardly any cold air coming out of that. Now this is the master primary. We don't have a drain stop in here. Wasn't leaking in here, but the other one was leaking a little bit. Toilets are secure. Take a look at these grout gaps. Do you see how big that gap is? That's probably a ½ inch at its widest point right here. And then all this grout over here is cracking off too. So I was running water and water was just running back behind the wall there. So that's not a good sign, right? Look down on the drain pipe. We want to see if it's rusty or not. Kind of give us an idea if we have cast iron or ABS. Looks like ABS to me, so that's a good sign. Let me just take the cover off. Huh? It's actually not very dirty. Looks like an old tile shower though. Doesn't look like it's been replaced at any point. No filter up here. These things have to get cleaned off a little bit too. It's restricting airflow just a tad. Then in this bathroom, we've got basically the same thing with the tile back here in the corner. Look at all those cracks. All the way down and between the bathtub and the back wall. It's wide open. Look at how open that is. Huge gaps. So this bathroom, look at that big gap back there too. The grout just kind of fell out of it. This backs up to the kitchen. So the kitchen is right there. So I'm thinking that we had some water get out of here and the other shower and make its way over there. More lights out. Missing a vent cover, which they conveniently placed in here. We just don't have the little metal clips to put it back on now. We did have a water leak here in this bathroom, and both the drains in both the bathrooms are going to be your flex drains, which no inspector likes to see those at any house because they stink. You can see that's leaking. Just no bueno. This bathroom doesn't have any backsplash whatsoever. I'd like to see some type of backsplash. There's no GFI protection on here. The other bathroom had it, but it wasn't working. And then how are you supposed to use these outlets anyway? Because they painted right over the top of them. The attic hatch and the electrical outlets. Good work. Good work. There's a doorbell that doesn't work. Smoke detector from 2023. It's the only one in the house. We got one smoke detector. No carbon monoxide detectors, just one smoke detector right here. It's not a good setup, if you ask me. This kitchen island, these things are supposed to be mounted. They're supposed to be secured to the floor so they don't accidentally tip over and fall on somebody. And then I'll put this on here to boot. That the countertop isn't even secured to the cabinets below it. Dishwasher ran for a full cycle. No issues with that, but it is rusty. Got rust down there, rust here, rust there, rust there. More rust up here on the racks. Actually, it's not wet at all. I wonder if it actually did run. I'm gonna come back to that and check. No refrigerator. Hey, these are working though. That's a good thing. These are magnetic, so they usually break where I break them and then get in trouble. But this is the super hot room. That vent was wide open, and I wanted to point out the garage door. That is just an interior hollow door. This needs to be a fire barrier door, and we need to have weather stripping installed to stop gas or smoke from getting in here if a fire does start in the garage. This is not an approved door for this location. We need to replace that for safety. So in here we talked about the stairs going up and how shitty they were. So we're looking over here on the side wall, looking for any termite signs, anything that might indicate previous termite damage, termite tubes. Actually didn't find anything here today. Need a switch plate cover. But garage door is not functional. I tried to open it. It's not connected. You can see the mechanism right there is not connected. It just runs freely. So I started looking at it and I was like, this isn't right. That ain't right at all, right? It's a different panel and they hooked it up however they wanted to hook it up, whether it matched or didn't match. And now the cables are, that's not the cable's down here. Cable's not connected up to the spring. Rollers are off at the bottom. A little bit of panel damage right there. This cable is off too. That roller is off at the bottom. And then this roller at the top isn't even in the track. So some major issues here. Like somebody was trying to save a few bucks. I usually don't recommend that. That's not a very smart thing to do. It wood splinters. So you lose strength right here. You think you're reinforcing it with steel, but you're really not. See, you didn't even get all the bolts in. I'm sure there's no spec to this, but you didn't even put all your bolts in your holes. And this thing is eventually going to start sagging, drooping right here, if it isn't a little bit already. But no power to the garage. Lights up here on the garage door. So we need to replace the light in there. The laundry room, no ventilation. The light is loose up at the ceiling. Water heater here is a 50 gallon from 2017 Ream. No drip pan. I'd like to see a drip pan to catch anything. Maybe direct it out here to the garage. Washing machine and dryer hookups. We have power here, and then the laundry chute goes up through the attic It's leaking in the attic and there's some duct tape on it right now. This is not GFI protected. So there's water right here. If anything sprays, any drain stuff sprays up right there, it's going to be electrified. Here's some of our bonding here for the electrical system. Whew, it's hot. It's a toasty day out here. See, this is outdoor siding. So this likely used to be just a carport, and then it got converted into a garage. So you get outdoor siding on the inside of the garage door. You can see that bracket up there is kind of bent up a little bit too. Definitely need a garage person here. I did want to point out we have another outlet over here that's been painted. That one is open ground. This one has reversed polarity, so the hot and the ground are in the wrong spots. On the background, backyard. Big old playhouse, treehouse. Maybe you can get rid of some of that wood and replace and keep the stuff on the bottom. Hate to see stuff like that go. It's hard to budget to get somebody to put one of these in, and then to replace it, it costs just as much, if not more nowadays. Gate's working good at this side. We don't have anything sealing the wood on the patio cover. Nothing. So carpenter bees, termites, things like that, they're going to find that wood a lot easier. We have a lot of gaps going up into the attic around the soffit here, which in my opinion should have soffit ventilation going up to help cool the attic. What do you know? A hole in the roof with some water staining right there. I don't know what's going on with that light fixture. Corona Extra House. And we have a drain right there on the side. No idea what that drain is for. The fan out here is not working. The electrical lines are exposed. That window pane is broken in this master bathroom right here. And we don't have any screens on any of the windows. No screens. And this is a little bit more than needed. You can just use like some liquid nails or something up here. You see how thick they put that in? Look at this back spot on the wall. So when they were trying to fill in gaps, they just put in more than necessary and didn't clean it up. So sometimes they just leave this all the way through and it looks good because it's kind of a look, but when you just have it sporadic, I just think it looks like trash. Some more cracking over here that could probably be cleaned up a little bit. And some more foundation cracks. See how this is moving out? This is actually bumped out a little bit. So that's displaced, it's pushed itself out. So there's some type of concrete movement right here at the stem wall. It's not a good sign. Need to get a concrete repair company. Concrete repairman would be a good choice. Come in here and dig that out and give you an estimate. See what it would cost to seal that up. Now this thing's been dripping for a while. Look at the weeds. It's pretty obvious. You know, that thing is dripping. That is your main water shutoff to the house. This goes over your irrigation system, which isn't working today. But you can turn off your whole house right there. And then it goes up through the attic. Old plumbing lines that are disconnected. And your electrical panel up there on the other side of the gate. There's quite a few things at this place. It's not one of those houses that's, I would say, move-in ready. We need to have some work done here, especially safety work done for the new buyers that are going to be moving into this house. It's one thing if some things are worn out and if other things are maybe a little bit damaged, but when you have potential mold growth inside the house, your air conditioner isn't working, your garage door doesn't lift, you're leaking water out of your shower pan, both of them, shower wall, shower pan. It's not a good thing. You seriously consider how many people that you're going to have to come out here and repair stuff and build that into the estimates, because this isn't one of those houses that you just, oh, take $5,000 off, $10,000 off. You want to get some estimates so you have a better idea moving forward. So this back pantry, if this is where you're going to store your food, I would seriously consider putting an air conditioning duct back in here. Over 100 degrees in your pantry. That's not a good sign. And then you have a couple warm spots. You're gonna have some warm spots on the wall. That's backed up into the laundry room there, so it might not have any insulation on it. That has cooled down now, but it's still 100 degrees. See all the red spots? It's just the warmth accumulating. And when you have a temp split this big, you're going to be able to see some stuff like that. Missing insulation. Bingo. Another spot right there. We could use some fresh insulation up in the attic. And you can kind of see the blue trail for the rigid ductwork that's sitting on the ceiling here. And our little water stain. That's how easy it is to pick up water leaks with a thermal camera. I just go back through and I scan everything before my inspection is done and make sure we don't have any leaks. Looking for any major insulation gaps after we had the house cooled down for a little while. Focusing on the exterior walls, particularly. This wall is facing north, so it's not going to be quite as hot. And then the primary bedroom is going to face south, so it's probably going to be a little bit warmer. Not much, 95. That's normal to see those little red things up there. That's where the air is coming in through those soffit gaps around the wood. So if we sealed those up, you wouldn't have it quite so bad in there. I didn't see any water leaking with my thermal camera in here, but you can see where all the moisture is collecting back there in the crack. All these cracks where the moisture is kind of holding off. I'm concerned about that one though. Alright, got it down to 91. Progress. Thanks for watching today, guys. I'm going to do a walkthrough with Everardo. I still have a sewer camera to do, so I'm going to try and add that on the end of this video too, if there's anything crazy going on in there. Everardo and his clients are going to show up at 6:30, about a half hour from now. So one thing to consider on these super hot days, maybe try not to book it like in the late afternoon. I'll take the inspection any day, but you know, especially on these houses where the air conditioner is trash, this is miserable, and your clients are going to show up and it's going to be miserable too. So we'll get through it. I brought water just in case, but you know, it's 120 degrees outside, it's 95 on the inside of this house. It's going to be unpleasant for the clients when they get here. So anyway, I'm Home Inspector Dan with Property Inspection Plus. We'll see you guys next time. So we're camera here in Glendale. We're on the north side of the property at a single ABS plumbing cleanout. This home was built in 1978, but it looks like we have an ABS line that goes down. I don't know if I can push through that. Whatever that is. There we go. Try and clean the camera. Fun on the kid. There we go. Can't really see anything. Crap on the lens, I can't see. Looks like there's definitely a belly here right by the cleanouts that's collecting water and letting that debris build up in the cleanout. So because this area at the front of the house doesn't have any type of gutters or anything, the drainage from the roof runoff might have caused this cleanout to, settle if they didn't pack it down well enough. So we got all this debris right here at the top of the cleanout, and it's backing up inside the cleanout because the level is too high, it's sunken down. So we definitely need somebody to come in and pick this cleanout up so the water doesn't keep building up in this area. Because I get pushed through that gunk and we're still underwater. Still underwater up to right here at 12 feet. So this whole section is a very big belly, and that belly needs to be taken care of, otherwise it's going to cause a clog or a backup in your system. Slow drainage. And it's only a single directional cleanout. It only goes one way, and I can't see which way to go underneath the house.